Haynesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Time for Jim George. He's in the studio, ready to answer your questions. The phone lines are open. We're all ready to go. The number is 622-9622 if you want to call Jim. Typically, the questions are about technology, but they don't have to be. He's pretty knowledgeable about the Bible.
A lot of things.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
pretty knowledgeable about that stuff. I can't wait to hear more about that. Come on, Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day in downtown Ocala.
Beautiful day
Look at
here,
this
too.
day.
Here, too. Beautiful here,
Man,
too.
the sky is bright. Birds are singing. What else more could you ask for?
What is the most exciting thing that Ocala has had happen to it in years? What would you say?
Now you put me off guard. I'm not ready to answer.
Well, I have an answer. I think it's the hotel.
Well, that's exciting, of course.
That's kind of exciting.
Yep.
When you say downtown Ocala, I always think of that very small area right there. Yeah.
Yep. You know, for years, when the gentleman built the Hampton Inn just west of 75 on 200, I talked to him and I said, you ought to build a hotel downtown. This is 4 years ago. He says, no, I don't think there's enough people that would go there. You know, it'd be a bad investment. And I said, no, I'm sure the city would work with you and help you get land and, you know, tax-wise and everything. And then when I saw that another company had come in and put it in, I thought this poor guy's going, oh, man, I could have been right downtown. I could have been right downtown.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Because lawyers come in town. A lot of people come in town. They don't want to go way west to stay in a hotel.
I know.
And if you go east, you're in a different.
I appreciate that. I like positive.
I know.
Yeah.
I like positive. I've heard some negative things about that hotel, but I'm happy about it. I think you're right. I think people will be using it, and you know, people, like you say, people want to stay in town. They don't want to be over by the interstate unless they're just traveling. Unless Ocala is just a stopover, then maybe. Yeah.
Yep. That's an in and out over by the 75. You're in one night and you're out the next morning.
If you have a family, 75 is good to go if you're a family to stay there.
What is
Have all the amenities.
What is the shortest length of time you ever stayed in a hotel?
Well, one night.
Okay, 3 hours
I don't
for
do
me.
the hour.
I did 3 hours.
That was with your son, though, right?
No. It was last week when I was going out for my brother.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, the flight was canceled from Spirit Airlines, and they sent me to a La Quinta.
Yep.
And I had to take off in the morning, so I said, well, gosh, I'm going to be here 3 hours. So that's it. I was there 3 hours, and
Did you sleep?
I slept. Oh, I passed out.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but I did sleep, and then I had to get out of there and head back to the airport. So
Wow.
and they put me on Delta, which was better than Spirit.
Oh, wow. There you go.
A little bit better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those airlines are really nice to fly. I mean, when I flew to England, that airline, I mean, it was a long flight, but that airline was really nice.
What was it?
Had the TV set right in back of the seat.
Yeah.
You know, and it had first-run movies. I mean, I watched like 3 movies. Well, I didn't really watch many. I kind of fell asleep here and there. But because we did the night flight. You know, we left at 7 at night.
Okay.
So we could land the next morning and have, you know, early morning time. But
Could you see the lights of the city down below?
while we were flying, no, because we were flying over the ocean.
No, I know, but I mean,
But
as you were
we got
landing.
close to landing, yes.
Yeah?
But remember, we didn't go to Heathrow. We went to that other air one. I forget the name of it right now.
Was that more rural?
It was more rural, but it was very nice. We're out in the farmland, so we saw a lot of sheep. You know, a lot of sheep. Not many horses, but a lot of sheep.
I wasn't sure what you were going to say there. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, did you have a sleeper when you went over there?
Just sitting up in the chair.
Okay, so talk about that. I have a question for you about what you're talking about right now. If I bring my phone to Europe, can I just call home, or do I need to know something in advance? Do I have to?
Well, my service was Verizon, and they just authorized my phone for Europe. And it's $10 a day with unlimited. In other words, it's just a
okay.
flat
So you
$10.
let them know first.
Right. So I went down. They said, okay. They signed me up, and they said it will start when you make your first phone call. So it will know when you're trying to call out.
Okay.
And I don't have to call, any special. I just call like the area code and the telephone number, and you do need the area code instead of just a number. So 352 or 904 or 407. And I got calls, I got a text, got everything while I was over there.
So do you have, and if you don't, could you anyway, control your house from there? Like they say you can control You can see who's at your front door and see
Everything.
if the dog needs to go out.
Yeah, all they're doing is authorizing it for you to use it in that country. And if I were to go to a different country, I could get a Euro pass. But I told them I was not going to France. I wasn't going to take the channel and go into France. I was just going for this convention, so I only needed England. United
Oh,
Kingdom,
okay.
you might say. So
And
that's-
could people call you then if you did that?
They called me, and I called them back. Yep. And of course, if I wanted to call somebody local, let's say the hotel, then I had to put that area code in because I was called. It's still thought of me as being in the U.S. It just allowed me to call back to the if I wanted to call my hotel to find out what time the checkout service or was whatever. Hey girls, then we would have to.
Good morning.
We would have to call 44 and blah blah.
Oh, and do the country code and all that stuff.
So is that not to be trying to do an ad for Verizon, but is that a service that Verizon has that the others don't have? Is it?
Everybody has. I found.
Oh, they all
that
have
out.
something like that?
Yep. Yeah, it's just and most of them don't even have a flat fee like $10. They might have like a minute a call or something like that. I mean, $1 a minute or something. But I just chose the flat fee because I didn't know how many calls I would get.
Right. See, I didn't know if it was different because, and I don't know if this is old or not, but I used to go to the convenience store right behind the mall here.
Right.
And they had these cards for people to call back to Mexico. And I
Right,
thought,
right.
why you have to have a special card to call Mexico?
Well, they have their phone didn't have that capability. Like I had to actually get another phone to access it because it had to accept the frequency at which the UK operates in.
Oh, okay.
Ready for a phone call?
That's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on there with Jim.
Good morning, Jim. This is Sonny calling.
Yes.
It wasn't that long ago. I wanted to talk to my fiance at the time, which is now my wife. I was in Italy, and I had to go to the telephone company and arrange a time and everything for a phone call so I could call the United States and say hello to my fiance. And it was quite a big deal to do.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
And this is back in either 1960 or very early 61.
Yeah.
But it cost me all of $15 to do that. But of course, $15 was a lot of money back then just for a phone call.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and thank God it was person to person because she couldn't grab the phone right away, so I had to wait until she got on. So it wasn't, considering everything else, it was well worth it at that time.
Yes.
But what a difference today! You just dial the area code.
And it's only going to
But
get.
anyway, it's not that long ago, really. But anyway, have a great day, everybody. Have a good weekend, and
Memorial Day coming up.
Yeah. Thank you, Sonny.
Yes.
right, bye now.
Yeah, I guess it was times have changed. When my nephew was in Afghanistan,
Yes.
he was talking to his family with his laptop. Just so he could see them and hear them, and everything. It's kind of cool.
Skype, probably.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
And now
Very
things
cool.
are, and now they put up these. Just yesterday, they launched all these satellites,
Right.
And this is going to make the internet better around the whole world.
Whole world.
Do you know anything about that?
Oh, so that's the LEO satellites, LEO, low Earth orbit. So these things spin around the Earth quite fast, and so there's hardly a moment when there's not one overhead. And they all talk to each other. It's called mesh technology, where one meshes into the other.
Oh.
And so just like a cell phone, where you drive down the road and you leave one cell phone area and you go into another cell phone area as far as tower sites. So they all talk to each other, and they're very powerful. Of course, your cell phone is very sensitive, so you can get real low signal and still, have connectivity. So it allows you to get internet from the sky. So if you're rural, if you were in Pahokee, Belglade, Clewiston, Immokalee, someplace where there's not that many cell phone towers and definitely not any internet connectivity to your house, there's no one running lines down there for you, then you could just get it through your cell phone, either making your cell phone a hotspot or right to your laptop with a little dish on your roof. And little, I mean like 8-inch pie shape.
Oh, my.
That's it.
Gosh, so you won't need like CenturyLink and places like that. Then you just get that tiny dish, and
If you're
you
pretty
could be
stationary, the
connected.
answer is yes. But I mean, you wouldn't want one of those on your car. You'd use your cell phone, but it's going to act like Wi-Fi, which means if you were downtown, for instance, you could turn off your cell phone capability and use the Wi-Fi, because every store, they have the advertising. Probably in the mall, I think it does have the mall. You walk by a store, and you'll get a beep on your cell phone, and you look at it, and they're sending you advertisement.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think you have a
Gosh.
phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yeah, good morning. Talk about overseas calls. During the 1990-91 Gulf War, the soldiers couldn't talk by computer back to the States. They had to use the amateur radio phone patch system. Or find a payphone somewhere and dump a whole bunch of quarters in it.
Yes.
Wow.
Reverse the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were in Vietnam, I used to call home.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'd say, hello, over. How are you? Over.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Almost like ship to shore.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
You have a good day.
He's breaking up a little bit. Hope
Yeah, breaking up, yeah.
So when you called home in Vietnam, did you have a radio like Jim was saying, and then you hooked up to
Well, they
the phone
had
company?
a mobile truck, and they had like a pull-behind trailer, and they had 3 phones on one side and 3 phones on the other. It looked like a pay phone, but you didn't put money in it. And then you would walk up to it, and they would make the call for you. They would connect by satellite back to the States, and then the person in the state would contact the person you want by phone, and they would patch you in, and then they would say, okay, your call is ready. And then you walk up to phone number 2 or phone 6 or whatever, pick it up and say, hi, Mom.
It's amazing how things have changed, right?
Yep.
So, like the phones we have here, we've had our share of problems with those phones.
Right.
Now they seem to be working okay.
Right.
But what is it? If we've come so far with phones, why do we still have some frustrating problems?
Well, there's always connectivity problems with the last mile, you might call it. In other words, either in your office, in the originating office, the connectivity is usually pretty secure. Like in your case, you have Ocala Electric Utilities fiber straight into your building, so you're on the internet constantly. It's pretty well secure and pretty well always on. But then it goes through equipment in your office. It's going through a switch, going through a server. On the other end, it's doing the same thing. So there is always some kind of delay or something somewhere that's affecting. So you might go to Yahoo and your screen pop up instantly. You might go to Google and it takes a little hourglass symbol appear or whatever, a little
Don't you
circle.
hate that, right?
And it's not because they're not online waiting for you to go to them. It's that it's going through something somewhere to get to there.
Right.
So when the new phones will be hooked up here, then you have to do something to the computer so it recognizes them and doesn't recognize these phones anymore.
Right. These phones will come out. These are basically IP phones, but they have a software in them that is antiquated.
Oh,
So
okay.
you really can't control the phone. The new software won't speak to that old phone.
Just so things change so
gosh.
quickly,
Isn't
huh?
that something?
Yeah. So now it was almost like you had a proprietary software, and now you're going to get an open access IP phone, which means any company could control the phone. So, so if I were to disappear tomorrow morning, you say, well, how can we get our phones operated? It's an open software.
Oh, gee.
Anybody could take over and do it.
Ah, okay. But that's not what we had or have now.
You had a secure type proprietary software.
So we got to unlock it.
And we could get a copy of that proprietary software. It's just that we wouldn't know how the phones were set up prior. So it would be trial and error. Did they have this function? Did they have this?
Oh, my.
So right now, the phones you have will have like every function: call forwarding, caller ID, call waiting, even the follow me function. So like if you had your cell phone on you, Robin, and a call came in and Larry was on the air and it rang the office and you couldn't get to the phone, it'll ring your cell.
Really?
And then you could be in the kitchen and say, okay, we're here, WOCA. How can I help you?
Wow.
It'll follow you.
is cool.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
Pretend we're here and not really be here.
That's right.
Who's going to get the door then?
Well, like you know, it appears that Robin's doing all of it.
Sounds like Robin's going to get the door.
Yes, yes.
So you have any plans for the Memorial Day weekend?
No, I was telling my wife I don't really want to do anything really dramatic or such. I mean, I may, put a hot dog or a hamburger on, but I don't want to do anything big. I just don't. I just want to.
Good.
I want to rest.
Yeah.
I've been really, really working. I mean, crawling under mobile homes, digging ditches, climbing in attics. I just need some rest.
Need a break, yeah.
And as a veteran, I'm going to look forward to Memorial Day. I may even go to the service down on the Veterans Garden.
Nice.
Yeah. Just want to veg out. I've been working pretty hard. So.
And that's the Kingdom of the Sun concert band, right? That's what you're going to go see?
Yeah.
So they are an example, in my mind, of music that does not need technology. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like they're playing regular horns and regular everything. It's just normal human-powered musical instruments.
So I meant to ask you something. So you played the accordion.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that means you have to actually exercise to get the air to move to
Correct.
make the sound.
Correct.
Just as they have electronic guitars, do they have an accordion now that you don't have to squeeze?
Oh, yeah. They're not cheap, though. And mine used to be one, but it was gutted, not by me, but by whoever I bought it from, the guy in Clearwater.
Uh-huh.
And he just put the normal reeds in it, which I love. I love the old-fashioned stuff.
Yeah, right.
But they still use the bellows to increase the volume, but you don't really need them. It's for expression more than for.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it would sound more like an organ. Well, not really. Like it would sound like whatever you said it to sound like.
I mean, like, could you buy a battery-operated saxophone? You wouldn't have to blow into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
You could still get the music quality out, but you wouldn't have to pucker up.
Exactly.
Well, we did a show for a church on last Saturday.
Yes.
And it was just so nice to not have to plug into anything and just
right.
Robin has a mandolin that's just strings and wood,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's what I was. That's one area I'm not up on as to music, piano and tuning and things like that. I mean, they have always had the piano that had the Nickelodeon type.
Mm-hmm.
The paper rolls that we play.
Yeah, I like those. I like
but
those.
it still was striking something.
Still had to be tuned. Yeah, it still had hammers hitting strings. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know if that technology had actually advanced in the music area. Like drums, you have big drum sets.
Yeah.
Now they got these little small 6-inch, 8-inch ones.
Yeah.
They sound just as big.
Oh my gosh, Robin's church has a band, I guess, and the drum sounds so nice, and it is electronic, but it does sound really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
it does.
Really
it
nice
sounds
sounding
really,
drum.
really good.
So there has been some technology changes then in the music field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it might just be because I'm a little snooty about this topic. I feel like I just want old-fashioned analog stuff, just push, blow the wind through your bellows and blow the wind through your lungs and, however.
Yeah, I went to Swanee to help them with their cable system last week.
Oh.
And they let me sleep in one of the bedrooms, and instead of going to there's a timeshare that they get free access to let me, people stay. And in the bedroom, I saw guitars and amplifiers and drum sets, and I said, "Oh, do you guys have a band?" She said her husband plays all the instruments.
Oh, really?
And never taught.
He's self-taught.
Just picked it up, and I said, well, does he read music? Because a lot of them play by ear. She said, oh yeah, he reads music. He just realized that he went up on this thing, so he'd look and he'd see that. Okay, that went up. Okay, so that's a symbol for going up. Okay, I see this as a symbol. and it's just hard to imagine someone that
in a way,
can play a piano and play the guitar and play a drum and play. Man.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
Ready for the telephone?
Passion.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yeah, good morning. My cousin is recently retired from Roland that makes those electronic accordions, and those are amazing things, but they're expensive. I mean, in the thousands of dollars.
I know.
That's what Larry was saying. I mean, I don't know how they ever come up with an idea. I mean, I thought that was always hot air moving.
Yeah, right.
I guess it's a variation on the synthesizer.
So is it battery operated?
Yeah.
Well, it's got a battery in it, or you can plug it in. You charge up the battery, and you can play without having it plugged in.
It's probably like my grill set. I'm halfway through and my battery runs out.
Oh, yeah, probably. I bet you. I got a battery-operated drill, too.
Yeah.
Have a good morning, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the one we were looking at one, not that we could really afford to buy it, but down where I got the one I got in Clearwater, the guy had one, and the left hand, you could set it to any sound you wanted. So the left hand sounded like playing chords with your left hand on a piano, which was kind of cool. The right hand sounded like a piano. So it sounded like you were playing a piano, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you were holding in your hand.
They had the accordion, yeah. But, you know.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but if the electricity goes out, then you're
If the
stuck.
battery dies, yeah.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Then it's good.
Or if there's a short or something, then you're stuck, you know. At least right now, if one reed goes, I just have a funky sounding key, you know.
Yeah.
Are you soliciting people to be on your cable network with programming?
Not yet, no. We pretty well have about 145 channels lined up, of which we have about 100 channels that have signed, in other words, allowing us permission.
Oh, gosh.
So I still have like 45 more people, the Showtime, HBO, they're convinced that, you know, my signal is secure, can't be stolen. See, programmers don't want their product used by anybody unless they pay for the right. Same as the music industry, you know that.
Right.
So, you know, they don't want people just playing their music without paying, royalties. Well, that HBO and Showtime, they're all the same way. So I've got to prove myself. I've got to launch without them. And show that I have subscribers and people are paying and I'm paying my bill. So it may take 6 months before they finally come around and say, okay, if you give me your $30,000 deposit, I'll let you carry me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's so I won't launch like all the big boys with every channel, but I'll have about 100 channels.
And you've got a track record, though. I mean, I don't understand why they just can't go on faith.
Yeah, there's no faith in the cable TV business. Yeah.
Did you happen to see the remake of All in the Family the other day?
No, I did
Jeffersons?
not. Oh, that would have been.
Yeah.
Oh, the family would have
Didn't
been
see that.
interested.
Yeah, they did both shows at the same time slot, and they had new actors playing, but using the exact script from the Norman Lear days. So yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
we didn't see much of it. We saw the opening song with Archie and Edith.
Yeah.
And then we saw one scene with the Jeffersons where
Jamie Foxx
made a mistake. It was kind of funny because it was live, and there was no going back, you know. So he had to work with it. Yeah.
I wonder who they found that replaced Edith with that scratchy voice.
Do you remember the actress?
Was it Marissa Tomei? I think it was her.
That might
I think
be,
it was Marissa. I mean, they put a wig on her, but she still, she still wasn't an Edith, but she was pretty close.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, pretty close.
Very interesting.
Well, enjoy your relaxing weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words you said about the book, by the way.
And thank you for the snacks.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, the book is very interesting. If you don't have a copy of Larry's new book,
And Robin.
Larry and Robin's new book, it's a children's book. You need to get it, and you need to ask the question, who is number 4?
Oh, too funny.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump, claiming his campaign was spied on, gives Attorney General William Barr power to declassify documents related to the investigation.
This as investigations are underway into possible FISA court abuse and political bias within the FBI. Democrats are not happy with the move. House Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff says the president and Barr are conspiring to weaponize law enforcement and classified information against political enemies.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington. The British Prime Minister Theresa May announces she will resign.
May saying she'll stand down as leader of her Conservative Party in 2 weeks and then quit as Prime Minister when a replacement has been chosen. She says she'll always regret being unable to deliver Brexit, Britain's divorce from the EU, which remains up in the air nearly 3 years after a referendum.
Fox's Simon Owen in London. May became Prime Minister in July 2016. This is Fox News.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me,